Another edition of the Let's Go Ricky Roll podcast. I'm Bethel Duran alongside Ricky Romero and Josh Tolley. Before we bring the guys in, yes, we had stickers. We sent them out. A bunch of people got them. And if you have them, tag us on the Let's Go Ricky Roll Instagram page. We appreciate it. I have a couple left, just a few left. So if you have them, if you haven't gotten them, send me a DM at the Let's Go Ricky Roll Instagram page. Tolley, feeling good?
I'm feeling good, but I still don't have my stickers, dude.
Yeah, that's the reason.
My address?
Yes, I need your address.
Put a bottle of whiskey in it, too. Send them nice big box.
Ricky, last week's episode is up. We didn't do a promo because I got busy doing a bunch of other stuff. It was a really good one. Actually, no, episode for 2 weeks ago. Last week, I got busy. I had to work. Totally was all over the place. So go back and listen to episode from 2 weeks ago where we talked about Toley's adventures in minor league hockey, all kinds of good stuff. Great reaction. A couple of messages I got. Toley said, hey, is Toley going to be doing a tour? I love hearing it. I got a message from somebody who said that they grew up across the street from your partners. So that was pretty cool. So it was all kinds of good stuff, man. So keep on coming. Keep on bringing the messages. We appreciate it, man. And it's a lot of fun. We keep doing it. But, Ricky, today, let's get going. You found us a guest. First time in a while we've had a guest.
Yeah, first time we've had a guest in a while, and it was by design. It wasn't like it just happened to just happen. It was by design. We wanted to get a feel for the new company we're working with, Blue Wire, and now that we're settled in, figured I'd bring us a guest. And obviously, we have if you guys follow me on social media, we have Danny Jansen, the catcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm glad he's joining us. Thanks for coming on, Danny. Again, stud catcher. I've had a chance to watch him live in person. I've known him for the past few years, and just great kid all around. And I'm pumped he's joining us today. And
I'm pumped too, man. Thanks for having me.
But you know what? It kind of feels good amongst us four. It feels good to be the best athlete in this chat right now, myself. So.
No way.
You're the best. Hold on. Let me intervene real quick, Danny. Danny, I'll let you tell the guest what you just got done doing, and that's all we have to know. Because let me tell you, there's not one left-handed pitcher would be at the ballpark as long as you were today. Let the people know what you just did.
Oh man, before I was even up, I was catching 7 bullpens today.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Thank you.
So that's how my day started, but now here we are. Just got done with the workout too, Ricky.
Oh man, yeah.
Miss those days.
Wait, hold on. Real quick.
After his first bullpen, I'd be on the first tee box teeing off somewhere.
Yeah, no shit.
Wait, Danny, so you're a big league catcher. Why are you catching 7 bullpens? Isn't it just like 2 or 3?
Yeah, there's a place that we're going in Tampa, and some of the guys, Brian Barucki, Jordan Romano, Andrew Case, one of my ex-teammates, they're thrown there, and usually I have 3 or 4, a couple other guys, kind of whatever work I need. But today I got there and there was nobody else there to catch, so we just threw the pads on, threw the cup over the pants, and we went to work. And the next thing you know, it's 7. So I mean, it helped. Dude, I was on a knee for majority of it, so I'm just kind of chilling back there, working on some stuff. So.
All right, so I'm going to ask the stupid questions here, Danny, so just get ready for it. How long does it take to catch 7 bullpens? Because the people watching or listening at home are like, how long does that take?
Well, I mean, all these guys are X amount of bullpens deep right now, a lot. So pitch counts are kind of going up. I think I caught one that was probably like 40 pitches. So I don't know. You get 7, that's between 25 to 40 pitches. It adds up a little bit, probably like hour total.
Squatting the entire time?
Yeah.
Squatting on a knee, maybe 2 knees. I don't know, whatever.
Hey, man, cup over the pants is what I love. I need a photo of that. Next time you do that, send me a photo.
Yeah.
And nothing like I'm not saying these guys, but catchers in the past that I've dealt with, like if they're the only ones and there's like 7, 8 guys to catch, nothing puts them in a worse mood than that. And obviously right now it's different for Danny because obviously he's there. You're trying to get as much work as you can because you guys are on a lockout and all that stuff. But if it was like a spring training, and you're the only guy there, you're not happy about having to catch.
Yeah,
I've seen it, and the first bouncing breaking ball they get off the forearm. Oh man, that puts them like over the top. And so these guys are honestly they save everyone's. They make everyone's job so much easier. They really do. Catchers just, I mean, they're special, but you know, they're not the best.
Danny,
athletes.
tell the people how miserable it is when you have 6 guys in line waiting to throw bullpens, and then the seventh ding dong comes out of the woodwork and says, "Hey, can I get a little bit of work?" You want to talk about putting me over the top? It was like, no, you should have been here an hour ago. Instead, you get here late. Throw to yourself. That's how I used to feel.
Yeah, and then a little bit of work turns into chatting a little bit and figure some stuff out. 30 minutes later, we're still back there. I mean, hey,
it's drive me crazy. Yeah, it is. You're right.
Part of what we sign up for.
You're damn right.
Well, okay, that's what I was saying right now. Like, you signed up for that because, look, I'm a sports reporter, right? So the best guy to ever interview is the catcher because they always give you great quotes. They're very honest. They're straight to the point. That's why we brought Tolly as a partner on the podcast, because him and Ricky balance each other out, and it's fun. Yeah. But when they told me you were coming on, I'm like, okay, this guy, I know who he is. I did my background on you. And then they tell me he just caught 7 bullpens, and Tolly's first thing he even said, "Oh fuck."
No, I'm not really in a bad mood because of it. You know, I'm not at all. So, is what it is. A great way to start the day. My legs are cashed, so we'll see what happens.
You know what though? Yeah. In all honesty, one of these days, like me, like I truly, as much as I joke around and talk shit, I miss those days. I miss days of catching bullpens. Some days do make them worse than others, but I feel you. That was always fun.
You can relate to this too. One of my favorite parts about catching a bullpen is just like the back and forth with the pitcher, and you're kind of in the lab together. You're working on stuff. We have an angle that they don't, so we get to see things, and we get to see what works. Kind of play with stuff silently back there, maybe setting up a different target. And if it works, it's like, hey, I just did this. It's all good stuff. Like a proactive bullpen is a lot of fun. You know what I mean? It's not just sitting back there. Oh man, another one. Here's another one. It's like, all right, well, if we're here, let's see what we got. Let's try to make this game-like and see what we can help. And I love if I'm able to help somebody. I mean, that's awesome. That's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? So
you nailed it. And just think, you're going to help that many more pitchers by spending the time with 7 guys. And most of them are on your staff for next year, which is awesome.
Yeah, and this is for young kids who listen to this podcast too, Beto. This is where the pitcher-catcher relationship doesn't start. You don't build it in games. This is where, like what Danny's talking about in the bullpens, and he's got the best angle in the house. So for him to be able to relay hey, you know what, maybe stay back a little more on your curveball, or get out front on your changeup a little bit more. Oh yeah, that one had great movement. Stick to that one. Or, you know, there's all these little things, little cues that catchers do. They're your pitching coach pretty much out there, you know, because the pitching coach can't come and mound visit you every inning, you know. So you rely a lot on the catcher. So if for young catchers out there, the relationships are built when you're throwing bullpens with your guys and stuff like that. So I like that Danny said that right there.
That's interesting. And all right, Danny, how the heck did you become a catcher?
I think everybody's got a story about how they became one. So for me, my dad loved catching. He grew up in Chicago. He played for a long time. I have an older brother who's 7 years older. Tried catching, wasn't for him. I think I might have an extra screw loose. But when I was 9 years old, I was fortunate to have a little batting cage in the backyard, and my dad was the coach of our little league team. And I remember I was 9 years old, and I was back there catching live BPs off a machine, which is just not the best idea. I mean, 9-10-year-olds trying to hit off a machine, foul tips in the head and wherever. And I remember I came out, I was freaking like borderline bawling. I was just like dinks everywhere. I was pissed, and took a little time, hopped back in there. My dad's like, all right, that's when I was like, all right, I think he wants to be a catcher when he hopped back in after he got his ass kicked. You know what I mean? So ever since then, I mean, I dabbled with first base maybe one game in like a summer ball league, but I've pretty much been a catcher only.
Jeez.
And Danny, you grew up in Wisconsin, correct?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about growing up in Wisconsin. I mean, you guys don't get to play baseball year round. I mean, it's freezing cold there, and how did you play any of the other sports? Did you, or was baseball just the sport that you gravitated into, and you were like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my career?
Baseball was definitely a passion in our whole household, for sure. And I grew up, like, I don't know if you knew this, but I grew up like hosting the low A team that was local, like a mile away. We used to host the players. So seeing that too, you know, one of our biggest names was Adam Jones, you know, outfielder for a long time. He stayed with us. And I know that story might be out there or not, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to tell it. But
Please do.
Go. Yeah.
So this is one of those full circle stories that's just kind of incredible. So Adam Jones, 18-year-old.
Real quick, Danny, real quick. Let me just set it up. So hosting is what minor leaguers will live with a family instead of getting their own hotel or their own place to do, because it's usually like rookie or A-ball, for those of you who don't know. So the family provides a room for the players, right?
Right. Yep. Usually in the lower levels and stuff. And I've actually never stayed with one personally coming up through the minor leagues, but we did it for a long time as a family. And, you know, we did it a couple years before Adam was there. But like I said, 18-year-old kid out of the draft, like, I don't know, 6th overall, just super athletic, just threw 97 off the mound and just a crazy athlete. I think he was a shortstop then. But I was 9 and Adam was 18. My brother was 16. So those two kind of bonded a little closer. I mean, I was the little kid that was always asking for a ball and a bat, which now I'm like, man, these kids, right? Like, but I was the kid that did that. I would ask him all the time, like, hey, can I get a ball? Can I get a bat? And so I was just a little 9-year-old kid, right? And then he was there, I think, the whole season. But after that, I didn't really keep in contact with him. My brother did, because they were closer. And my brother lives in Kansas City, so every time like Baltimore would play Kansas City, he'd go out there and see him and all that good stuff. So sure enough, though, 14 years later, right, I debuted in 2018, and a couple weeks after I actually debuted, we played them, and I hadn't seen him in that time. So we talked during batting practice, we hug it out, we chat for a while, and then his first at bat, he comes up and he slams me on the chest, and he goes, "Proud of you, kid." And it's just like, it's one of those stories. I remember I flew out my first at bat to him, and I was just like, man, like, you know, that was doing that thing to him, and he did it back to me. Everybody's like, what's this 13-year vet doing with this rookie right here? Like, what's going on? Sure enough, man, like, it's just a wild story that he stayed with me. You know, I watched him play when he was 18, and 14 years later, I'm playing against him in the show. So it's just incredible.
Yeah, and we actually, let me get that for you, because it's like Adam Jones, you know, a lot of people come in when they're 18 years old, and it's like they might only play 1 year or two, let alone a guy who's going to have a great career like him. He's awesome. And here's the picture that we got of you.
There it is. Yeah,
a youngster.
Wow,
look at
man,
us.
that's dope.
So that picture on the left there of me when I was really young, we have a bobblehead, him and I. That's the bobblehead right there. That's the picture of us. I'm a little kid in that Cooney's jersey and hat, and then we have a bobblehead. I think it's on parents' house, I think. But
that's
cool.
Awesome. Like
that's cool, man. That's the type of stuff that gives you chills. It just, you're right. It comes full circle. Next thing you know, you're behind the dish, and he's coming up to the plate. What was going through your head though? What like as he's coming up, were you just like, I mean, obviously it's a proud moment, but it's like, I mean, were you just like, wow, like this is dope?
Yeah, it hadn't like it was. That's pretty much what I was saying. I was like, man, this is crazy. It hadn't really hit me like I don't know, like how wild it was maybe until it kind of blew up and people were, you know, asking me about it always, and I was telling the story more, and then it's like, shit, this is wild. It really is. It's just a full circle baseball story, you know. And I've kept in contact definitely more since then with Adam and stuff, and you know, he had said that he was always asking my brother, you know, kind of how I was doing in the minor leagues and kind of keeping tabs. But you know, Jonesy's a superstar, doing superstar things. So
yeah, man.
This is what's amazing. This is what's amazing about the baseball world, right? The fraternity. When you talk about a fraternity, only in baseball would something like that happen. A guy lives with a family, and X amount of years later, they're standing on the same field playing together. Like when you said the story, and I know I saw you a month or so ago, Danny, and we talked about the story briefly, but when you tell that story, like the hair stands up, like it just doesn't happen.
Me too. Every time I tell it, still, man, it's just like
it's like you almost want to get choked up because it's that kind of a story.
Yeah. And we've had so many great. The Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. We had so many great T-Rats to stay with us, and some that have seen me play. That one lives out in like Pennsylvania, so we played Scranton and stuff. He'd come out and Reading and all that stuff too, and like they'd see me play. It's just a full circle too. There, I watched him play growing up. That was our childhood. Was going to those games. There's a mile away. You could bike, not even a mile maybe, but going to those things, man. Like we always go to that as a kids. You know what I mean? And now they're watching me play, and it's just wild.
Danny, do you think that's why you got into baseball and like really pursued the path?
I think that definitely helped, and I think it helped.
Yeah.
As a kid, it's just like another older brother there. I didn't really think too much of it and all, but as you get older and stuff, it's like, man, like you see what these guys go through, and then I experienced it, and it definitely helped. It definitely helped with the passion as well. Like I said, it was a very passionate household to begin with, but having those guys in there and just seeing ball players come in and spending time with them and going out in the backyard playing wiffle ball and doing all these things, it just kind of definitely instilled some more passion for the game for sure.
Yep.
It's weird. So like I'm born and raised in LA, so we don't have no minor leagues at your housing. We got enough people in the house as it is. It's so crowded out.
Household.
Exactly, the Mexican houses. We got too many people here anyways. But that right there, like, so typically in elementary, would you say like, hey teacher, there's a pro athlete in my house? Like, would you say something like that?
So I'm telling at the time, I think it was just, hey, I got an older brother at the house. It's not like this guy's a pro athlete. You know what I mean? It was just one of those things. I don't know, man. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I finally got a bat at the end of the year from Jones. And me and my brother, I always give him shit about it, but he took it in the batting cage and like snapped that thing. All I wanted was a bat. He took it in there. I don't know, got jammed or something.
Of course he did.
We have a running joke about that still.
Oh. Now, did Jonesy get to take you out to dinner at all in Toronto or in Baltimore?
He took me out. I went to his house in Baltimore. I think my parents were in town too, so we all went over there.
That's awesome.
I think we might have stayed the night even. Yeah. I mean, he was staying in crazy big house out there, and I forget where it was, but anyway, so
that's what happens when you have a crazy big checkbook.
Yeah, exactly. And then when we were in Toronto, that series, he took me out to a Korean barbecue place. Yeah, and it was awesome. That was my first time I ever had Korean barbecue. And then I've been with like Ryu since, but that was my first experience, and it was really, really good.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, Jones is good, man. I've heard him on CC's podcast, and he lets it out, man. He does good stuff, man.
He's a character, man, but he keeps it real. He's just an awesome human being too, man.
Yeah.
Now, our goal is to get him on here. We want to get him on here too eventually. I always had a good relationship with him, and we always talk about the battles we used to have against each other, because he would be like literally talking shit, like in the middle of like I'd release the ball and he'd already be talking shit, If he'd swing and miss, if he'd swing and miss, he'd look at me and be like, "Throw that shit again," and I'm like, just laughing.
Yeah, that's what he did, man.
Yeah, he took me deep a few times though, but I got him too. So we always had fun, awesome matchups, and off the field we always had a great relationship too. So hopefully he comes on here sometime soon.
Yeah, we'll get. But
I wanted to ask you though, you signed out of high school, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously Josh did too, and he talks about his experiences, going from high school to minor league ball. How was that transition for you?
Go back to the question you asked me before. Like growing up in Wisconsin too, especially come out of the draft in Wisconsin. Like there wasn't a whole lot. I didn't have tons of exposure. I wasn't like a huge prospect out of high school and all, but anyways, yeah. I mean, we only played like 18 games maybe, and majority of them were like double headers or makeup games in like May or something because there's snow going on in March and a little bit in April. But so anyways, yeah. So going from like 18 games. And then you're going to, and I'm catching, one of my best buddies, man. He was committed to the same college. I was committed to Jacksonville University, and we're going to go together. And he was the best arm I caught, and he's thrown. I think at the time he's throwing 85, 86, 87. And then I'm going and I'm catching guys throwing 100. I mean, that was definitely a win call. You know what I mean? But I felt like I don't know, man. I felt like I adjusted just because I really wanted to adjust, and I was competitive, and I wanted to get it down, and especially I'm catching 100, but I'm also seeing 100 at the plate too. I didn't see that in high school at all, and my first year, I think I had the same amount of strikeouts as walks. So I was able to, put the ball and my contact was good and kind of adjusting to that. So that definitely helped me going forward. You know what I mean? So it was a wake up call, definitely a wake up call, just kind of being away from home and all that for the first time and just in a brand new environment with, guys from all over the place. I wish I would have paid attention more in Spanish class going there for the first year, but
Hey, Dad, it
yeah,
wouldn't have helped. Your high school Spanish in Wisconsin, it didn't matter for baseball Spanish and the
You're
population.
right. You're so right. You're so right.
Hola, me llamo Daniel. Yeah, right. Then
Yeah.
no, man. Look,
Yeah.
I speak Spanish.
I try to
still know what
learn
they're saying.
like bajito, alto, all, try to do pitch stuff right away. I don't know. I was just freaking spitballing right away.
Danny, knowing having a host that you guys were a host family, I know you were younger, obviously, but did some of that stuff help? Like kind of knowing what to expect, getting into pro ball? For example, right? Like I knew nothing about professional baseball. I was drafted out of high school and I was just like thrown to the wolves. I didn't even know you played every day in the minor leagues. Like it was like that.
Yeah. I knew that you played all the time. I also knew that there was fans, but you don't experience that. At least I didn't for the first couple of years of pro ball or spring training, extended spring training, instructs. I knew nothing about that at all, so that was all brand new, doing all those things. And then you realize like just how long it is. And, I mean, you see got night games going on when we were hosting and stuff. And, first couple of years you're playing day games or whatever it is. And, so it helped a little bit. Yeah, a little bit, but not all of it for sure. It's definitely brand new.
Hey, Dan, your high school season, you broke your hand, right? Or a finger or something like that?
I broke the piece of form in my wrist. Yeah. Fracture.
So, and then is it true that you just chopped the cast off at the end of the season so you can play in the playoffs?
Where'd you hear that? Yeah.
Hey, man, I told you, I'm a reporter. I do my business. That you weren't playing and you were people were talking that you were going to go to a JUCO instead, and that because you hadn't had anything and you had an exposure, you just chopped the cast off and you played in the playoffs.
Yeah, so I broke it. Like I said, didn't play a lot of games, so I fractured it, and I got put into like this splint that you kind of move it around a little bit. But so I missed a couple of weeks. I only played 3 games before it broke. So I only played. I missed a couple of weeks, not a long season, and then playoffs came around, and I did. I took like something to it. I don't remember, but I chopped it pretty much in half, so I had a little bit of mobility. And I remember my first at bat, I ripped a double. That thing hurt, bro, when I was catching though, especially. I had so much tape on it. I mean, I did think about going to JUCO, definitely. I mean, all that stuff happened fast. I like I said, I was committed to Jacksonville University in my senior year, and then all that happened, and I'm scrambling. I mean, it wasn't huge talks of the draft. A couple of like people came and saw me, but nothing, not many people following up. So that really wasn't a crazy thought. I was thinking, all right, what am I going to do? JUCO or college or Jacksonville? So it definitely and then the draft happened, and it kind of took it all away. It's like, I'm doing this. And
because I was gonna say, I mean, being a 16th rounder, sometimes out of high school, you're like, oh, you know what? I'll take my education. I'll go in somewhere where I'm going to develop for maybe another year at a JUCO, or go through a 3-year school, or a school where I can come out after 3 years. So what was the deciding factor for you to sign as a 16th rounder out of high school?
Yeah, I didn't have an agent, so I didn't even know like what kind of money was involved in like the draft, all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like I knew like guys got money and stuff, but I didn't know like the ins and outs of all that thing. But it really wasn't that big for me. I mean, I even tried bargaining a little bit myself. They're like, nope.
Hey, horseshit negotiator, huh?
Yeah, terrible. And then I remember I looked at my brother and I was like, my brother Matt, I said, like, should I do it? He's like, hey, it's your life, man. Like, we've been around baseball for so long. It's such a big passion. And you know what? Like, obviously I have no regrets at all for my decision. I think that like I had 2 or 3 surgeries that if I line it up would have been like in my college career. I had a knee and I had a hand, and who knows if I would have ever had a chance again. You know what I mean? Yep. So like I said, like the money wasn't like a big factor. I just wanted a chance, and I wanted to I wanted to do it, and like here we are. So
how did how did the draft happen for you? Somebody call you? Internet?
Yeah,
What?
somebody called me. Somebody called me. I didn't know exactly like where it was going to be and what day, but somebody called me right before. They called me in the 15th round. I think it was Wes Pennick. He's my scout or something like that. And he called me and he said, "Hey, the next round, we're going to draft you." And yeah, we had it on the speaker out in the backyard. I had some friends and family over, anticipating, hopefully, and sure enough, there's a video on Facebook my brother took, obviously a long time ago. And it is like, it's them calling my name out and stuff and everybody erupting. It's pretty cool too. Pretty awesome video.
All right, who are these guys right here? This picture.
These are my boys. Yeah, it's my homies Colin and Bo are there. And that was, yeah, look at this. What am I doing, huh? Went right to like Dick's Sporting Goods and bought what we could.
All the Blue Jays gear you could find.
Yeah, how about that, man? That's so funny.
Hey,
There must have been like 3 Blue Jay shirts, right? You bought all 3 that were there?
Yeah,
and
must have been.
Andy hired a driver already, so it's perfect. And his buddy toting him around.
Yep, sure did. Look at
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
yeah, and then you go, and then you go and you get all the gear you want, and it's like you get all the extra gear. You got all the shirts and that you want.
Yeah, use your whole signing bonus at Dick's.
Basically, pretty much.
Hey,
yeah.
In all seriousness, I want to know how many high school kids drafted after the 10th round play for X amount of years in the major leagues or get to the major leagues, and then what that is. I might let me see. I want to do some work because that's interesting to me, because like Danny, your story is very similar to mine. Oh, I mean, almost to a T. And it's crazy because it just doesn't happen. I sit back and look and say, I was fortunate. I was I caught a lot of breaks. I was lucky to an extent, but I don't know that I would pass that information on to my children. I think I would send my kids to college at this point because it is so hard to do what both you and I did.
Yeah, I don't know what they have like percentages of people out of high school and stuff, but especially like northern high schools. I don't know, man. It's definitely an advantage.
This is where we need
definitely an advantage for being in the South or being in Cali or being in Arizona or Florida, like Texas. You know what I mean? The guys are playing all the time, and the exposures, all the tournaments are out there and stuff. So yeah, it's interesting for sure. I'd feel the same way, man. I feel, a big thing actually. The deciding factor, I think, definitely helped me was like they give you college paid for X amount of years, and that was big for me. It's like, hey, if it doesn't work, I have a backup plan. I can go somewhere, and after I had a couple surgeries, I was like, shit, maybe I should do some online classes or something, man.
Yep, been there, dude. Same conversation. It was like they paid me a little cash up front, but it was the free schooling when I was done.
That's a safety net, So that was probably deciding. If they didn't have that, that's a huge gamble. I mean, who knows, right? A chance is all you really need, but still, I mean, that was huge.
Yep.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. When I first signed and I went to, I was in high A my first full year. I decided to take an online class, and it lasted about 2 classes, and then I quit. I'm like, I just can't. And guys were clowning me. They're like, "Bro, are you seriously taking classes right now? Get out of here!" Like, obviously coming off I'm the bonus baby, this and that, and everyone's giving me shit over that. And I was just like, man, like I'm committed to getting my education, and then like 2 classes in, I was like,
for you.
I can't sit through this.
Well, I know it. Like, I think once you start it, you can't just like stop and wait a couple of years. You have to continue on. I think, right? Isn't that what it is? So, and I can't imagine trying to do it during the season. You already got so much shit going on. You got bus rides all the you're not even, there's so much going on, especially in the minor leagues. Yeah. So definitely be tough, man. But
I mean, my goal is to still someday go back and finish. I have about 1.5 years left, but I just, 3 kids now, and how the hell would I get any studying done?
Oh, we got guys. We got a guy.
Or it could be a good reason. To go back to class with 3 little ones running around. I'm thinking about going back to school. My kids are older.
Everyone that I talk to though says that former big leaguers who go back or minor leaguers, anyone, any pro athlete says when they go back, they're more interested in school than they ever were when they were students, because obviously you've matured. We've been through it all at this point. Like we've seen a lot of different stuff that nobody has seen as far as being pro athletes and being in the big leagues and stuff like that. So when you go, your mind's already, you know, a lot bigger than what it used to be in college, at least for me. You know, I just wanted to get good grades and get through so that I can play baseball and hopefully sign after 3 years and stuff like that. So I'm sure I'm curious to see if I'd be more interested in school. I mean, I love school, but I wonder if I would love it even more.
I can see totally being the guy in class that would be like, all right, what about this? All right, you know, Professor, like, any other questions? I got all kinds of questions. That'd be totally, huh?
Yeah, damn right it would be.
Let me tell you about my friend Johan. And
yeah, hey, Danny, have you caught a knuckleballer yet?
I did back in the day. I caught Luke Maley in 2019. Luke Maley.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We were getting kicked. We were getting crushed by Texas, or I think we were getting crushed, and we put him out there. He punched out Shinshu Chu, I think, with a heater that he was like, man, that hurt. But he threw a couple knuckleballs. Also, Frank Viola, I remember he was in the minor leagues with us for a little bit, and I think I also had my first inter squad home run off him too, off a knuckleball.
Frank Viola? You went deep off of Frank Viola?
Junior.
The son, yeah.
Oh, his son. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
you're right. He was a knuckleball. Yeah, I was like,
hey, Bye Viola still has it, bro. He still has it.
Yeah, sweet music.
Junior, or he might have
sweet
been
music
third.
for nothing.
There it is.
Yeah.
Hey,
what was? I was gonna say, what was the first thing you bought with your signing bonus, Danny, or did you stash that thing away?
Well, there ain't no bonus in the 16th round, is there?
The Blue Jays shirts. I told you.
The first thing I bought, Blue Jays shirts and hats, baby. I don't know, probably a can of dip.
and then you were done in the 16th round, eh?
Yeah, you know what? I don't remember what else. I remember I got 100,000, but Wisconsin, the taxes kind of get you and especially in Wisconsin. But so, anyways, yeah, I had the money, and it was all new to me having that kind of money. So, I did a good job with it though. I didn't go crazy with that money. I definitely didn't ask my parents for gas money, and if I wanted Taco Bell or something, I went and got it. But I didn't buy I had this 1996 Jeep Grand Cherokee from my grandma that I still rocked for a little bit, and I didn't make any big purchases. So
I freaking love that.
A good Midwest boy right there. Good Midwest boy. You bought a fishing pole. You bought a fishing pole.
Right.
I did buy a little John boat in 2014. It was $1,000.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny, what about the first day you go to a camp and you hear Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Venezuelans, Mexicans speaking Spanish?
Well, you realize who talks the fastest. I forget who they all talk at kind of different speeds, but I mean it was all brand new to me. I'm trying, I did try to learn a little bit, but I kind of wish I would have. I don't know. It would be beneficial almost that. You know how they have Spanish guys doing English class and all that stuff. It would almost be beneficial, at least optional if you wanted to go to a Spanish class. I think that'd be cool. But
hey, how many
I
bad
didn't know
words?
shit.
How many bad words did you learn?
You learn them all quick. Yeah. Yeah, you learn them all quick.
That's the first word they all learned, man. Every single guy that doesn't speak Spanish, they all learn the bad words quick.
Yeah.
The coños,
Exactly.
everything else.
Yeah.
And Tony's always mentioned how as a catcher, you got to be the one that facilitates, whether it's an Asian player or a Latin player, you got to be able to figure things out. So how do you communicate, for you personally, how do you communicate with a non-English speaker?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely experience more with Latin players than now I have Ryu Korean, and I play with a couple Japanese guys, but they have translators. But even if they don't, I don't know, it's you kind of use hands. I don't know, I guess hand talk. If you want something up, he's you're using your hand. I want this heater up, fastball up. I don't know, stuff like that. Just kind of like that, I guess.
You find a way, right?
Yeah,
that's what
you find a way.
That's
you kind of have to.
That's the difference between catchers and anybody else on the field. Catchers find the way. Everybody else just bitches about it. And how do we do this? No, catchers will find a way 100%. Even if
you have to, otherwise you might call a curveball and get a heater.
No shit. You don't want to get hurt. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Hey, me and Danny, we're cut from the same cloth. I know that.
Damn right.
And they say pitchers are whine a lot and bitch a lot, man. Come on, we're the chillest people on the field.
Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah,
I'll let you take
just
that
like
one.
you're the best athlete here, bro, right?
Yeah, I'll let you take that one. That's simple. That's simple.
Hey, you see that bat right there? Yeah, 2 hits in the show. Sorry about it.
That's good.
We let Totally have his moments where he complains about how he does everything because he used to play baseball in the snow and go uphill and everything else and leather spike, all that other stuff. It's old man Totally, even though he's in his 30s, he'll go on these rants about things, man. So you let him go.
And Danny, talk to us about you obviously go through the minor leagues and then you finally get called up. Talk to us about that moment for you and what it was like for you and your family to be able to share that moment. Like, tell us right from the beginning, when did you kind of sense that you were getting called up? Did it surprise you? How did the manager do it? All that good stuff. Tell us about it.
Yeah, man. Gonna get shivers thinking about it, but it's like I was in AAA in 2018, and I was having a good year. 2017 is when I went from high A, high A, double A, and AAA. So I finally got glasses. First of all, at the end of 2016, I went to the fall league. I finally got glasses and figured out that that's probably important, right? So and then 17 and 18, I had 2 really good years, and then at the end of 18, it was a surprise for sure. AAA, of course, like you're so close, and you don't want to dive into too much of like what's going on up top in regards of like with other players and stuff like that. But I remember it was in the middle of a game. I think it was the 8th inning. I was in the hole or something like that. And every time in AAA, the trainer's phone rings. Everybody's like, "All right, who is it? What's going on? Something's happening." And sure enough, it rang, and Bob Tarpey was our trainer, and he told, I think, our hitting coach Corey Hart, and Corey like kind of like makes eye contact with me, and then I was like, oh shit, I mean, this could be me. Tells they start like signaling to Bobby Meacham, our manager, third base, and he's like, they point to me and they go like this, like can't play no more. And then it really kind of hits you quick, and then everybody's kind of dapping you up and giving you hugs, saying congrats. Comes in and he says, you're going to the big leagues. Congratulations. And you kind of black out from there. But I remember I got my phone. I went in there. I found a spot in the cage that was right outside the clubhouse, and I called my parents. And I remember that we all cried when I was talking to them and told them. And I tried to find a quiet spot behind a post, and I sat there and we shared that moment together. And it's just an incredible moment that I'm so grateful we got to share it together. And that night, then I'm in a car service. Buffalo's right there. It's an 1.5 hour, 2 hour drive. And sure enough, next day I'm in Toronto.
Wow. And this is pretty unique though, Beto, and Josh, because usually when you make a team, you usually find out, or when you get called up, they usually wait till after the game. But like Danny said, they probably needed him the very next day. They need him in uniform and ready to roll. And to find out during the game, it's kind of you rarely ever see that. You always see some kind of like scenario that the manager sets up with the hitting coach and stuff like that. But this is pretty unique itself to be called up in the middle of the game. You find out, you go find your phone, and you sit down, you talk to your family. I mean, that's awesome, man. I feel like nothing beats that experience, especially with your loved ones when you're able to share experiences like that. And it's not like they're with us, 24/7. So everything has to happen over the phone. And I remember, for me, I don't even think FaceTime existed yet. So everything was over the phone. And that's pretty cool, man. Like I said, to be able to make that accomplishment and make it to the big leagues.
Yeah, I always think that's one of the coolest moments when guys get yanked out of the game. Like nothing better than watching them have to take out the second baseman or take out a position player, and they call timeout and run somebody out there to remove the guy from the game. I always say that those are some of my favorites. I've seen it a handful of times. Obviously spending a large amount of my time in AAA too. So you see that a lot because that's what happens, right? Like, especially when teams are on different parts of the if they're kind of where they are, right? A team's in a rain delay and they need more pitching, and then it screws up the pitching. I always enjoyed that.
I've seen
so
two
raw
unique
too.
Yeah, it's so raw.
I've seen two unique experiences where a guy Travis Snyder got yanked in Seattle, and he was in a trade. That was weird itself, because he was like literally like running off the field, like what the hell just happened? And they're like, hey, dude, take off your uniform. You got traded to to Pittsburgh. I think he got traded. And then another instance I saw Aaron Hill. He was like 3 for 4 in a game in Toronto, and they yank him. He's like on first base. And the inning ended, and they're calling him in, and he comes in, and he's like, I remember he comes in the dugout, he's like, what the fuck is going on? And they're like, dude, your wife is in labor. Oh, there's a plane waiting for you. Like, go. And he's like, oh shit. And you just see him now down the tunnel in Toronto, and takes off his uni, and boom, off he goes. Because I think his wife was
wild, man.
Yeah, so those are the two different instances where I saw some players get yanked off the field.
I got one too. We were playing 18. It was in 2018, I think, too. You know, Jacob Wagasback was with the Phillies, with the Iron Pigs at the time, and we were playing them. And it was before the game or after. Got traded to us, and he just walks across the field with all of his stuff. And next thing you know, he's playing with us.
That's awesome. That has never happened in my entire career that I can remember. I think that would be awesome. I would love to see a guy switch locker rooms. Like you just got
like
done,
that.
you
Just walk across with their locker.
Yeah, you just get done beating the shit out of them. Actually, I take it back. It happened to Scott Feldman. I think. When I was with the Blue Jays, right at the end of my career there, he went from Houston to us, right? And like,
that's right.
And it might have been on like a Sunday getaway day or something. And he didn't pitch. No, he did pitch. This is exactly what happened. He pitched. He wasn't going to pitch. Gibby was going to say, hey, I'm not going to use you. We'll just get acclimated with the boys. Of course, we go into extra innings, bring Feldman in. He ends up giving it up. We lose the game. So he's just like, he went from their clubhouse to our clubhouse and then lost the game.
He's like, hey, guys. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Yeah.
So you get called up, Danny. Did you get a start the next day, or did they give you like a day to kind of get acclimated with everyone, everything? What was your first experience like? I mean, obviously, I tell this all the time, and I'm sure the clubhouse looks even more different than what it looked like when I was there. I mean, that place is a state of the art. It's beautiful in there. Tell us about that moment when you walk into that big league clubhouse, walk out to that stadium. What was it like? Was your name on the lineup?
No, it wasn't the first day. It was a day game. We were playing. I don't even know how much sleep I got that night. You know what I mean? I don't think that I knew if I was in there or not. So I was definitely like thinking like I was going to play or something, right away. So even more jittery to get going. So I don't know how much I slept, but it was a day game playing the Rays, and the roof was open. It was gorgeous. And I didn't play. I just sat there, ready just in case. But I remember looking up and around and going into the clubhouse right away, seeing your name, seeing the jerseys, and seeing all these things. It's just a surreal moment. And then during the game, like I said, like looking up and just, you see like the CN Tower, and it's just gorgeous summer day. After that, and then we flew to Kansas City. This is another cool thing. So we went to Kansas City after that, and that's where I debuted the next day. And my brother, like I said, my brother and my nephews, and like they're all there. So that was a really cool thing too, where he just had to, drive a little bit, and he got to see my debut, like not too far of a travel for it and everything like that. Just had to drive 30 minutes, and he's already there. So got to debut in front of my family, my grandma, some aunts and uncles, and my brother and my nephews, and it was pretty cool, man.
All right, Danny, what was more nervous for you? Getting your first major league at bat in Kansas City with your grandma and the nephew that were there, or getting on the plane for the first time and not knowing where to go?
Oh man, talk about getting on the planes are different now because of COVID year and all these things. But the plane, then getting on that plane, man, that was incredible too. I remember I was sitting next to Curtis Granderson. That was my first seat buddy. But definitely probably first at bat. I'm in there on a cloud, shaking a little bit. Just you're anxious. Not really like you're a little nervous for sure, but you're just anxious. You're proud. There's a whole bunch of emotions that are hitting you at once. and I got to hit my first at bat, which took the biggest weight off my shoulders and off my chest.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool too, man. Like, I know Russell was playing third base at the time, and that game was playing third base, and he was on second. And first hit in the 6 hole, which is now, which got taken away from me, that 6 hole. But and then he gets thrown out at home plate, and it's just it's another fun thing. I just grew up watching Russ and all this stuff. It's just a cool.
Yeah. Brad Keller's scared of you, man. You own Brad Keller that day. 2 hits off of him.
Yeah, and then I got a little bleeder down the third base line and beat it out or something. I mean,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's a hit. Hey,
I'll say, baby. It's a hit.
As a hitter, the worst thing, and I feel for these guys that come, and it's like 7, 8, 9 at bats, no first hit, and it's like, holy shit, what must be going through their mind? Because I was fortunate enough to bloop one out to right center my first at bat, and get the weight off of your shoulders, and it's like a whole
biggest
different
weight.
Oh my God, and you can't explain it.
I waited 2 years.
I watch these dudes squeeze the bat, man. They're in there squeezing the bat as hard as they can, and I'm like, holy shit, what is going through this guy's head? And the poor parents are coming to every game just to hope to God they can see their kids first hit in the major leagues. 0 for 4, 0 for 4, 0 for 4.
100%.
Holy
man.
shit!
Like you said, man, so grateful to get that first one out of the way, and then it makes the rest of the game catch it too, especially. For me, it's always like this. Even like the first game of the year, it's just like, man, I just the first ball that I block, it's like, all right, now I'm settled. Or you know what I mean? Like, just like, I don't know, just like every year it's like that, but especially on the debut, it's like I just want to like smother a ball. So because that I'm super comfortable, and then sure enough, like getting that first hit definitely helped too, just being comfortable, and realizing it's the same game, just definitely a different scale, but same game.
I always used to say that in spring training. Like my first spring training game, I would go out there and, we catch up with the umpire for a second. And he's like, well, JT, have a good season. I said, all right, thanks. You too, blah, blah, blah. And all I think in my head is just catch the first pitch. Like if I drop the first one, it sets the tone for the whole season. And boy, I'm out there. I'll try anything to get the thing.
Hey, ain't it crazy?
I feel the same way.
For our listeners out there, this is what goes through a major leaguer's head. Like it's like just normal, just
catch the ball.
Every spring training, it doesn't go away. Like for a pitcher, it's all right. Let's get off to a good start. Throw a strike first pitch, and if you don't, it's like okay, ball 1. All right, boom. Let me get settled in. Let me get an out now. And it's like the wheels are always spinning in major leaguers' head. It's not just like we're this good. We can just get through just by just thinking we're that good. No, it's like every I mean, for me, every spring, it was like, okay, you got the 5th game of spring training, and you can't even sleep the night before. You're just like, all right, like let's go. It's time to kind of set the mood for the season.
Yeah, we have a lot of high school coaches that watch us, Danny, and like parents too of youth kids. And we always, well, not me, but these guys and whatever guests we have on, it's like baseball's simple. Just keep it simple. Catch, throw, all that other crazy stuff. Like you have to throw around 8 different cones and do a cartwheel before you throw to first base. Like, no, just catch the ball and throw it. It's really simple. Like Ricky has a camp here in Thanksgiving that we do for his high school. And we had J.P. Crawford come out, and he was giving instructions. J.P. Crawford, Gold Glover, giving the kids instructions on what to do for fundamentals. And one kid's like, hey, are we going to work on these jump throws and this and that? And JP's like, no, how about we work on just fielding the ball? Like, keep it basic.
Basics, baby. That's it.
Yeah.
It's so important, the fundamentals, man.
Even these guys throwing the ball back to the pitcher, it's like the first one, they kind of let it rip at you, and you're just like, they're just like, all right, I'm loose. Like, I'm good. Like, let's go, and it's just little things like that gets us in the mood and gets us ready, that we just have to psych ourselves out. That's why you're part of that group of that's able to do it at that level.
Danny, now I'm going to ask this question because the position of catching has evolved and baseball has evolved. And we're not going to get into analytics, all you wearing a wristband and all that other stuff. Forget all that. But why do catchers now in baseball get on one knee?
Oof. It's definitely a relaxed position, and there's science and numbers behind, like you have a little bit more range, especially on the low ball, and it depends, man. Like I am not that flexible. Like my ankle mobility might be zero. Like, you know, I mean, it's so I'll go on a knee with nobody on base, but you know, the game's kind of changing to where people are going on a knee with guys on base. You know, and you know, people will think that, you know, stealing strikes and all that's more beneficial than letting the ball get by. And you know, like I always talk about it. Like I have too much pride to let a ball just get by that I can block. I think it's so important to keep a guy from first to second, tight game, bloop hit. Next thing you know, it's tied or winning just because there's a ball that you could have blocked that you didn't. I mean, that's just something that I can't see myself, you know, ever really changing or doing. But as far as nobody on base, or maybe somebody's like super slow on first that you know he's not going to steal, you have more range. At least majority of people do. I know I do when I do it. You might feel a little freer with receiving. So I think that's okay. But I remember, I got a funny story too. I remember when I was coming to the minor leagues, I had Sal Fasano. You know, Sal Fasano was our catching coordinator. Yeah, and I remember he told me, he said, Jano, if you go on a knee before AAA, I'm gonna break it. so I never did before then. That's for sure. You know, Sal, JT. You know, Sal's an awesome human being. He's the best.
One of the best. Hey, I'm telling you,
he was good.
I mean, he's right up there with one of the best catching coaches I have ever had. And Danny, 100%. You could speak to this. Like the game calling, I mean, you just across the board, mechanics,
the ball.
The whole.
I've never seen somebody receive the ball the way he does. He caught a bullpen from me one time. Yeah. I was like, oh my God.
His ass is on the ground.
We would be doing like catching drills and bullpen work, and then Sal would be like working out. Like he would come up to me and he's like, oh, I want you to do this. And he would just squat back there with his butt touching the ground, so flexible, 300-pound man, and he would just catch the rest of the bullpen. Like, he loved
it. I'll give you guys a real good Sal Fasano story.
Yeah.
So I get traded over to the Blue Jays. It's 2013. I'm trying to make the team. They just gave me a major league contract, but I had minor league options left. Alex Anthopoulos says, hey, we're probably going to send you down unless somebody gets hurt. But my goal was just let me go be me until something happens. And Sal, man, he was on my ass every day. Oh, do this, do that, do this, do that. Finally, I said to him, I said, Sal, man, I don't want to be making major adjustments right now. Just if I'm not going to make the team, let me not make the team on my own doing what I'm doing. Okay. He goes, well, when they option you down, he says, would you be willing to learn? I said, absolutely. I end up getting sent down. I get a text from Sal Fasano. He says, hey, you know, Danny, in the weight room there, like, what was that? There was like a covered porch behind the weight room at what do they call that? The minor league complex, Bobby Malek.
Oh, Bobby Malek. Yeah.
Yeah. So he says, meet me at 5:30 in the weight room or outside the weight room. And this guy beat me to death. Like, I mean, he had me doing like bars on my back, like crawling, like getting. Is that where
it started? Did it start because of you? Because we did that shit all the time. Bro.
All the time.
You guys, duck walks, down and back.
And I'll tell you what, that is probably one of my biggest regrets in baseball is not spending the time in Major League camp with Sal, like sitting down to understand what he was trying to tell me. It was just stubbornness. Yeah. It was a little hard-headedness. I do regret that in my career of like, damn, I wish I would have just taken that time because I would have been 5 steps ahead of. Oh my God.
That's a beautiful man right there.
That is a beautiful man.
Mustache.
Hold on. I got to get a photo of this and send it to him.
Look at that.
I'll tell you, he would love it.
And tell him we need him on as a guest.
Yeah, we need him on, man. I got a Fasano story when he was with the Yankees. Back up with the Yankees. I'm covering the Angels, and I go in the clubhouse, and I had never seen a Sal Fasano before. I had heard the name. I had never seen him. And first day in, I walk in, 3:30. I turn, and in Anaheim Victory, the visiting clubhouse, to the left is immediately where Fasano was at. Just a mountain of a man and just hair everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is not the thing you want to see when you open up the door.
Yeah.
No shirt, just his sliders and then the mustache. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, and the Yankees, you're supposed to be clean cut, right? He was clean cut-ish, right? And I'm like, okay.
Hey man, he had some big hands too, man. That guy would shake.
And then end of the game, it's a getaway day, and Fasano suited and booted, pinstripe suit, clean, and he made sure to put on his Bluetooth. He had the Bluetooth on, ready to go. And I'm like, okay.
Hey,
like,
Danny, who lifted
bro?
more weights? Who lifted more weights in the weight room than Sal Fasano when he was a coach? Like,
Oh my God, nobody.
wristbands, and he's just like, and the bar is shaking. I'm like, dude, it's 4 a.m. I'm like, what does this guy do? He's crazy. What a guy! What a guy!
When I came in,
miss him.
one of my first days of being in pro ball, like I said, like I was super raw back then. I've gotten a lot more flexible now, but I was super raw. Like we're doing duck walks, and I'm meeting all the catchers for the first time too. And Sal is intimidating as Sal looks. Like obviously Sal is a huge teddy bear and just a genuine, awesome human being, but intimidating. I'm like, oh my God, this guy, monster. But he's got everybody doing duck walks and doing all sorts of things, kind of like we did in the morning and all that, but a little lesser scale. And man, it was like, oh boy, what did I get myself into? Like, it was tough. It was definitely tough, but I wouldn't trade any of those moments of getting the crap kicked out of you in the mornings at 5:30 before anybody's even there, doing all these things. Like, it helped us as just dudes in general, just like getting to know each other better, but battling with each other and all that stuff, man, was all great intentions, and I wouldn't change a thing, you know.
Not in a million years. What a guy!
And, you know, earlier in the show, you mentioned about getting glasses, Danny. How serious was your eye vision at the pro ball level?
It's not like since. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying we read a little bit about it, but tell us like the story behind your eyes.
Yeah, it's not like I was. It was terrible coming up through the minor leagues. I got it in at the end of 2016. I went to the eye doctor finally, but that I would say like not before that, like 15, 14, none of that time. But in 2016 is when I kind of just realized I was like driving and looking at like street signs, and it wasn't like that great. I don't know. I think I was stubborn too. I was like, man, there's no way my eyes are bad, right? Like if they are, I'm screwed. Like. So I was probably trying to tell myself I'm always tired and I'm kind of squinting at nighttime. And finally at the end of the year, I said, I'm going to get checked out. Sure enough, I had astigmatism and a little bit of correction in one eye, and I threw glasses on, and it's like HD. It was just like, and you realize like so many players nowadays, like you really realize that guys wear contacts all the time. Glasses now are becoming, more and more popular. And it's not like if you have glasses or contacts, then you're in trouble. Like they're fine nowadays, right? So I got that done, and then I went to the fall league, and I did pretty well, and I finally just like felt really confident. Then so I had a couple of tough years with the bat, building up to that. But then I got the glasses, and it was just kind of a whole new man going from there. So definitely needed that. Definitely probably should have done a little earlier. But
you think you had stigmatisms in both eyes, man? Like.
I know. I didn't know anything about it. I don't know.
You had them in both. Like I read up on it. You had a 0.75. Like you could not see. Like you're like saying,
it wasn't great. Yeah, I was stubborn, bro. I'm telling you, I was just like, oh man, I must be tired, or I don't know. I don't think it was the whole year though. I don't know if something happened during the middle of the year or something, but it wasn't like I was in pain looking like the whole year. It's just finally it might got like just worse enough at the end where I was like, I gotta go.
And you're still catching 100 miles like nothing.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I was harder at catching than I was hitting. I feel like there's times where I'm like back there, like really, really, like you're not really seeing the spin all that well, and probably botched a couple balls, But
wow,
I don't know. So I'm just glad I got it taken care of at the right time for me, and yeah, I'm still rocking them.
Yeah, you look good. You look good, baby. You got the sponsorship too, right?
No sponsorship. Nope. Just
I got you.
I don't know.
We're the king of getting sponsors here right now. Well, you on a West Side hat?
Right,
we got you, bro. We got whatever you need. Some whiskey? We got whatever you need. Bourbon? We got whatever you need.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Take care of you.
Yeah.
We'll wrap up with you, Danny, because I know you caught 7 bullpens and you're probably tired right now. Best advice you can give to a kid who says, hey, I want to be Danny Jansen.
Best advice, man, is just to enjoy the game. I think that if they want to be a catcher, one of the best parts about it is, and JT, you could probably agree with this. Like as a catcher, you are a watered down version of whoever has taught you, talked to you, watched on TV. Like you find yourself. Like everybody, it's not a cookie cutter position. where you have to do everything a certain way. Like guys have different styles, and it's okay to have different styles and to do different things and to try things and to fail. And catching is an adaptive position for sure. And I don't know. It's just like you got to understand that baseball will crush you, and you gotta realize that you got to stick with it. You got to keep working hard, but you got to understand that it'll come around. And I've struggled with the best of them. So I'm just trying to bulletproof my mind and my mentality, and I try to be the best version of myself. But as far as catching, I think that it's just great to watch baseball games and to see how different styles and just kind of try new things and find yourself.
Damn right.
Yep.
Damn right.
Yep. Who can deal with failure the best? That's what the major leagues is, right?
Yeah.
Damn right.
Exactly.
Well, it's good, man. It's
Such
good,
an important
man.
thing.
We every now and then we'll go on these rants because we're all parents about how let the kids play. They don't need to be going to 8 different showcases in 4 different weeks, and just be a kid, ride a bike, play other sports, and if you're gonna play sports, I think football is a good one to play, right, Danny?
Oh my God, my dad.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Let me tell you this: my dad was the coach. He loved football, passion of his. He sticks his kid at left guard, and he expects me to love football. Puts his own kid. He ain't the quarterback. He ain't the wide receiver, the running back. He puts him on the line. He's pulling for halfback tosses. That's what I did right there.
Oh my God.
Look at the Danny J on the helmet.
Danny J on the helmet. Oh my God, that is great. Oh. Two-sport athlete, Danny Jansen, ladies and gentlemen.
We told you it wasn't going to be a traditional podcast. Like, we're not asking about the strike and the lockout, whatever. Whatever. You can't control. You go catch your bullpens, man. Just keep on doing it.
This is a blast, man. I'm so glad that we did this. It's so much fun. You guys are great.
Yeah, well, we'll have you back on soon, man. We'll have you back on soon. Maybe at third day when you only catch 2 bullpens, not 7. Yeah. All right, so Danny, one thing that we do on the show is Tolly at the end of the show gets a minute to have Tolly time. He can go on a rant about whatever. The last couple of rants have been about youth sports and like how parents are yelling at kids. And I think he got in trouble in his neighborhood too of Oswego, New York, where everybody knows him, and about Daddy Ball was one of his best rants. I'll send you the link on our Instagram about how parents should be parents, coaches coach, kids play. He was on fire. So today it's time for Tolly time. You get 1 minute, Tolly. What do we have? And go.
Well, I'm going to I'm repping the Major League Baseball players because in light of what's going on, and I know we don't like to get too deep into the weeds, but the Players Association, I stand by the players. I was a player. I know obviously Danny does because he's in the mix right now. I know Ricky does. I feel for these guys. This is the time of the year where it's tough. You start looking forward to spring training, and then now you can't go. So this is less of a rant. It's more about what's happening, and I love how tight the players are staying. I read it, I follow it, I'm in the mix, and I think it's freaking awesome that the players are staying so united because this could have gone a completely different way. So Danny, hats off to you guys as current players because you are building for what is going to be happening in the future.
Ooh.
Easy rant today.
Love it.
Real personal rant today.
Yeah, no, and I agree with everything that Josh said. And a lot of people, when Beto, you send me a few comments of people saying like it's crazy how they like stand by the owners. And yeah, you're gonna have people picking sides and this and that, but this is not for the guys that are currently being paid. Like Max Scherzer and Garrett Cole, those guys are in the trenches working for the future generation, and I just hate how they keep getting bashed. Like, oh, you're making this amount of money. Like, why do you care? And it's like, no, man, this is what the Players Association is about. You look forward to the future and you set up a base for them and that's what they're doing. And you guys continue to hold ground. I'm sure it's frustrating, but hopefully it comes to a closure here soon, and we're back to seeing you guys back on the field because can't wait to. I'm supposed to head up to Toronto in July, so I know my boys are looking forward to seeing the Jays play. So we're hoping you guys are back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we got to grab dinner this time, Danny. When I owe you dinner for coming on this podcast, and we'll go out to dinner after a day game or something. And
there it is.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
if
in.
you're buying, hell, I might come up.
Yo, let's go.
All right,
You know,
Danny
let's do it.
Jansen.
I'm up in that city, baby. Come on.
Yeah,
That's right.
Danny Jansen. We
Dan,
appreciate
good
you.
to-
We'll
good
check
to
in with
see
you
you,
during the
buddy.
season. Totally, go coach like a bunch of other kids, and don't argue with any parents today.
Not today. Mild mannered today.
Thank you so much, Danny. Really appreciate it, brother.
All right,
Thanks,
that's been
Dan.
You
another
guys are
edition
awesome,
of the
man.
Let's Go Ricky Roll podcast with Josh Tully. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.